This lesson is practicing on writing equations of lines that are parallel and perpendicular to another equation. And this is the paper you should have out in front of you to be able to do it. And if you don't, then just you'll be able to use your own paper to be able to write down the steps. So it's asking you to write an equation in slope-intercept form that passes through a given point and is parallel to the graph of the following equation. Well, one of the things we need to remember is what is slope-intercept form? Slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Okay, and when two lines are parallel, what does that mean when lines are parallel? Remember, it means they have the same slope. Oh, well, let's see if I can get this to write somewhere here. The same slope. All right, so number one, when you're looking at this, now hopefully you've done the notes and you can go through and try and do these, pause the video and try and do them on your own and come back. But if not, I'll do the first one and then hopefully that'll get you started. It is already written in slope-intercept form. Here is my slope that I'm highlighting right here. So it's giving me my m number, which is 2. It gives me a point, x1 and y1. So when you get a point and a slope, we're going to put it in point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, so m goes right here. That's the slope. The 2 goes here. Now, my x number is -2, so I'm going to put -2 in here. My y number is -3. One of the biggest things you need to look at first is, look, it says minus and negative. That changes them to positive. So I get y plus 3 equals. Now you're going to do 2 times x and 2 times 2. So 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 2 is 4. You're still not done because you need to move this 3. So you should subtract 3 from each side. And these cancel out. You get y equals 2x plus 1. That would be the equation of the line that is parallel to this one and goes through this point. Okay, so now try and pause your video and try and do number 2 and 3. So on number 2, here is my slope. Oh, I didn't mean to write it in black. Here we go. Here is my slope. My slope is -1. Here is the point I'm going to use. I keep using the wrong pen. So now I'm going to write y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Remember, my m is my slope, so I'm going to put the 1 in there. Now my x1 is a positive 1. My y1 is a -1. So now, again, I see minus and negative, so it changes to positive. So I have y plus 1 equals. Now you'll do 2 times x, not 2, sorry, 1 times x, 1 times -1. So I get 1x minus 1. You're not done yet. You have to move this 1 over to the other side. Oh. So I subtract 1 from each side. Okay, let me write it up at the top. I'm going to have y equals, because these cancel out, x minus 2. That should be your equation right here. That equation is the line that is parallel to this one and goes through this point. All right. Let me erase some of this, and I'm going to do number 3 just so I want to erase it so it doesn't look so cluttered. Here is my slope. So I have y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. x1 and y1 is up there. So my m, my slope is going to be 1/2. My x1 is going to be -2. My y1 is going to be 2. Look for your minus and negatives. Here they are. They changed to positive. So I have y plus 2 equals. Now multiply. 1/2 times x is 1/2 x. 1/2 times 2 is +1. Subtract 2 from each side. Your equation you should get is y equals 1/2 x, right? Because these cancel out. 1 minus 2 is -1. This should be your equation. All right. I'm going to erase this and I'm going to move this up. I want you to try and do the next 6 problems, and then we will come back and see how you did. So on number 4, it is written in slope-intercept form. Here is the slope. Since the lines are parallel, that means they have the same slope. So I have a point and a slope. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. M right here is 3. X1, that's your x number here, which is 3. Your y number is 2, so I will put 2 in here. Now, are there any minus and negatives? No. So I just have to do y minus 2 equals. You'll do the distributive property. You will get 3x minus 9. Now you're going to add 2 to each side. So these cancel and I get y equals 3x minus 7. This is what you should have gotten for the answer. Number 5. Y minus y1. Again, this is point slope form. Now, your equation right here is already in slope intercept. Here is your slope because it's already in y equals form. So I'm going to put -3 here. Okay, my x number right here is -1. My y number is -2. Now look, you've got minus and negative that changes to positive. Same in here. So I'm going to get y plus 2 equals -3 x plus 1. You have to do the distributive property here. So I get y plus 2 equals -3x minus 3. Subtract 2 from each side. Let's see, I'm going to go up to the top to write my answer. So I'm going to have y equals, because these 2's cancel out, -3x minus 5. The next one, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, it is in slope-intercept form. The slope is the number in front of x. If there's not a number, that's a 1. So that's my slope. So I'm going to go in here at m and I'm going to put a 1. My x number is that -1. So I'm going to put -1 here. My y number is the +1. Are there any minus and negatives? Yes, there are. Right here, it changes to positive. So this stays y minus 1 equals, okay, 1 times x and 1 times 1. 1 times x is 1x. 1 times 1 is 1. We're still not done. You have to add 1 to each side. So these cancel and you get y equals x plus 2. This is the equation you should have gotten. All right. Number 7, again, it's in slope-intercept form. They're looking for the lines that are parallel, so we're using the same slope. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. All right, well, m, let me get rid of that. It's going to be, oh, come on. Is going to be -4. My x1 is going to be 1. My y1 is going to be -3. Do you have any minus and negatives? Yes, you do. They change to positive. Y plus 3 equals, now, -4 times x, -4 times -1. So -4x, -4 times -1 is +4. You need to subtract 3 from each side. Y equals -4x plus 1. This is what your answer should have been. The next one, starting off with my equation again. What is my slope? Remember, they're parallel lines, so that means the slopes are the same, but you have to find out what the slope is first. Right here, it says just an x. If it's just an x, there's a 1 in front of it. So instead of m, I'm going to put a 1. My x1 right there is going to be -4. Y1 is going to be 2. Do you have any minus and negatives? Sure do. Change it to positive. Y minus 2 equals 1 times x and 1 times 4. So I get 1x plus 4. Move the 2 over, so I add 2 to each side. My equation should be y equals x plus 6. That's what you should have gotten. Okay, the last one when we're talking about parallel lines, same formula though. Okay, here's my slope. So instead of m, I'm going to put in there 1/2. My x1 number is going to be -4. My y1 number is going to be +3. Are there any minus and negatives? Yes, there are. Change them to positive. So now I have y minus 3 equals 1/2 times x, 1/2 times 4. So I get 1/2 x plus 2. Add 3 to each side. You should have gotten y equals 1/2 x plus 5. Okay, so those are all the answers that you're supposed to have for the parallel lines. So if you need to, pause the video so you can make sure you get all your corrections done and have this written down. And we'll go to the next ones for perpendicular. Let me erase my board. It always likes to go a little crazy here. There we go. All right, the next 6 are talking about perpendicular. When lines are perpendicular, the slopes are going to be the opposite reciprocal. Okay, so we'll talk about what that means in just a second. So in the first one, right here, first you need to find the slope. The slope in this one, there's no number in front, so it's a 1. Remember, every whole number we can put over 1, so it's 1 over 1. To find the perpendicular slope, it is the flip and opposite. You would flip them over. Well, yeah, it's still 1 over 1, but instead of positive, it becomes negative. So my new slope I'm going to use is -1. So now I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use this point that they give us, just like we were a second ago. And let's see, okay, x and y. And we're going to do the same thing. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. The only thing different is that when we do the slope, we use that opposite reciprocal, which is -1. My x number is -3. My y number is -2. Minus a negative, they change to positive, change the positive. So I get y plus 2 equals, multiply right here, I get -x minus 3. Subtract 2 from each side, I get y equals -x minus 5. This is the line that is perpendicular to this equation and goes to the point -3, -2. Well, let's see about number 14. You should be able to pause the video and see how you do. Okay, on number 14, it's already in slope-intercept form, so there is my slope. It's 2. Okay, anytime it's a whole number, put it over 1. To find the perpendicular, flip it over. So now it's 1/2, and instead of positive, it is negative. So now, still y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. My slope, the perpendicular slope, is -1/2. My x number is 4. My y number is -1. Okay, look for your minus and negatives. They're right here, they change. So you get y plus 1 equals, multiply right here, -1/2 x plus 2. Subtract 1 from each side. These cancel. Y equals -1/2 x plus 1. That should have been your answer. Okay, now if you look at number 15, we have to get the slope before we can find out what the perpendicular one is. This is in standard form. We have to put it in slope-intercept form. Okay, that's the biggest mistake. People just go and they assume, oh, well, it's got to be whatever number's in front of x. No, it's got to be in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to subtract x from each side. I'm going to get 3y equals -x plus 6. Then I'm going to divide by 3. I get y equals -x divided by 3 is -1/3 x plus 2. Really, all I need is this right here. So that is my slope, -1/3. I need the slope that is perpendicular. Flip the fraction over, so that's 3 over 1. Instead of negative, it's positive, so I can leave it like this, and then when I divide it, I just get a +3. Okay, so let me erase this part right here. Now you are going to use this slope and this point right here, and we are going to do the same thing we've been doing. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. M, my slope is 3. Okay, so my slope is 3. My x number, it says, is -1. My y number right here is -6. Do you have any minus and negatives? You sure do. Change them to positive. So you get y plus 6 equals 3 times x, 3 times 1. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 1 is 3. Subtract 6 from each side. Y equals 3x minus 3. This is what you should have gotten for your answer. I'm going to move my board up. We have 3 more problems to check over and do. If you've not done them, pause the video and do them now. Number 16. Let's see. Before I do that, let me erase all these because that way it'll make it easier. Give me a little bit more room. Okay. The first one, it is already written in slope-intercept form. So the slope I'm going to use is -4. It's a whole number. Put it over 1. To find the perpendicular slope, flip it over 1 over 4. Instead of negative, it is positive. This is the slope I'm going to use. So now y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. M, instead of m, I'm going to put 1/4. My x number is -4. My y number is 5. Do you have any minus and negatives? Yes, you do. They change to positive. So I get y minus 5 equals 1/4 times x is 1/4 x. 1/4 times 4 is +1. You're not done. You have to add 5 to each side. These cancel. Y equals 1/4 x plus 6. This should be your answer. The next one. Here is your slope. So 1/4. Remember, to be perpendicular, it's the flipping opposite. Flip it over to 4 over 1. Instead of positive, it is negative. See, it's the opposite of what we just did. This is -4. So this is the slope you use, and here is the point. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. M is your slope. Your slope is -4. Your x number is -2. Your y number is 3. We have minus and negative, so that changes to positive. So you get y minus 3 equals -4 times x, -4x. -4 times 2 is -8. Add 3 to each side. These cancel. Y equals -4x minus 5. This should be your answer. All right, the last one. Here is your slope. Okay, so that's 1/2. For it to be perpendicular, it has to be the flipping opposite. So flip it over, and instead of positive, it becomes negative. So it is -2. So you use that slope and this point right here. So I have y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Remember, m is your slope. That is -2. The x number, 0, and the y number is 0. Is there minus and negatives? No. So now, first off, y minus 0, I can just drop the 0 and just put y equals -2 times x, -2x. -2 times 0 is 0. I won't put that. This should be my answer. Now, if you put y equals negative 2x plus 0, that's not wrong, but it's not going to be on your test like that with a plus 0. Okay, so this was the work over parallel and perpendicular lines. So hopefully this has helped.